people. Welcome to another episode of KastKing Fishing Frenzy Live with Nikki. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Heath Watford. Hi, Heath.
Hey, Dickie, how are you? How's everybody?
What's going on? I see we always have people in here waiting. I love that. I love starting the live up, and it's 10 minutes early and there are already people in here ready for the live. That's why I always kind of start it, a few minutes early to allow people to kind of come in, and there's just already so many people here. We've got Gary and Rob Forever, B-Man. What's going on? Hey guys. Rob Forever says, it says 3:45. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, Rob. It's always 5 p.m. So just always know it's 5 p.m. And I always, about 10 minutes before the show starts, I get it going and I'll put it up. This gives it a chance for people to kind of get in. So I don't know why it always gives a time of some different time, but always know it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's going on, Slay all day? Hey, Jay Rotoli, what's going on? Hello, beautiful people. So we got a very special guest here. We got Heath. Guys, I'm so excited to have Heath on the show today. I'm going to tell you guys all about him, and he's going to talk and tell his story in just a couple minutes as we wait for people to kind of check in here, because we are starting early, as you guys can see. What's going on? B-Man, is the deadbolt good? Yes, the deadbolt is fantastic. That's a great reel for if you're trying to pull fish up out of the matted grass, especially here in Florida. It's got no drag, so the drag is completely cut off. So it's for people that are tired of the drag slipping, and they're going after some real big heavy fish, and they're trying to pull them up out of that matted grass, or top water fishing. It's great for. Hey, Ray, what's going on? Yes, it's great reel. Yes, Gary, it is such a great reel. What is the giveaway? B-Man, I'm going to tell you that in just a short while. We're going to get to that, and you guys, we're going to talk with Mr. Watford here for just a couple of minutes, and he's going to tell his story. But you guys, I met Heath. Actually didn't meet him, but through social media. Heath made a comment on a KastKing post, right, Heath? And
Yes, it was one of yours. You had talked about how you're fishing and your
yeah,
ex-law enforcement career.
right. So what's really great is Heath is law enforcement, and we were talking on the KastKing post where I did my video about how fishing saved my life, and how it helped me a lot with PTSD and all that, and depression, especially when I got injured at the sheriff's department, and I was really depressed. I couldn't work anymore. And I wanted to be a cop my whole life, and then to be told that that injury couldn't work anymore, be a cop, it really it made me hit rock bottom. So I was hurting, and mentally and emotionally. So I went out fishing, and the rest is history. Fishing really truly saved my life. As Heath will tell you, being outdoors and what that does for you, Mother Nature, and just the healing
Absolutely.
aspect of it.
But it's
you know
also like a horrible drug. It's just so addictive.
it's so addictive, because you're always out there. One more cast, one more cast. I know I'm coming. One more cast. Just you can't
Yeah,
stop.
phone's ringing, people want you home, and it's like, I got to get one more. I got to get one
One
more.
more, one more. Give me one more hit, one more hit. But yes, I'm gonna let Heath talk again. Heath and I met through that post. He commented, and he said, "Hey, I'm law enforcement. I know what that's like, and that's really great that you told your story." And we started messaging back and forth. And I said, "You know what? It'd be great. When I found out what Heath does." I said it'd be great to have you on the show so you can explain to everybody and talk about what you do, for the community, and how you help people and your law enforcement as well. So go ahead, Heath. Let us know. Tell us about you started in law enforcement.
I actually started, gosh, in the early '90s as a volunteer fireman. My
Oh wow.
dad was a police officer growing up. He was a Vietnam vet,
Oh.
and I really wanted no part of law enforcement. I went to college. I became a truck mechanic. I worked on trucks, cars. I worked on everything from big trucks to $300,000 Ferraris.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I absolutely hated it. I love doing it as a hobby, and I love working on stuff with my dad, but I absolutely freaking hated to get up to go to work in the mornings
I
after I
understand.
started doing it. And I became a volunteer firefighter. It was a weird story how that happened. Well, that's another long story for another day how that happened. But it just grew and it fit. So I went on and I got hired with one of the local fire departments. I went through the ranks, made it all the way up to lieutenant, training officer. I was an arson investigator.
Oh,
Went through
wow.
I went through a divorce, and a good friend of mine that I was building cars with on the side, he was just like, hey, he was a police officer. He was like, hey, I know you're doing this, but we have a reserve program if you would like to get into it. So I did, and I found myself every minute I was off putting on a police uniform and working for free.
Oh
So I
my god.
said, so I said, I might as well do this for a living. And one of the local agencies that I was teaching for, one of the police departments, they were starting a public safety program where they were training their police officers to be firefighters as well. It was a dual agency. It was the second one in this county in South Carolina that was going to be that way. And they had hired me through the fire academy to teach their police officers. Well, the chief of police comes to me one morning and was like, hey, I just got promoted to city administrator. I want to hire you as a cop. So we talked. We went and had breakfast a couple times. We talked. We settled on an amount that I could live with at that point in time, and I started in law enforcement full time. Then eventually the public safety thing went away. It was just didn't work for that town and that city. So I stayed on the police side of it, and here I am 23 years later. I'm still doing it here in Horry County in South Carolina. I work for one of the local agencies here. I um I run criminal and special investigations. I've
Wow.
done numerous things through my career, from SWAT, narcotics, you name it, I've done it. It feels like. I actually was eligible to retire 2 years ago, and I just hadn't figured out what I want to do when I grow up. So I still love what I do. I still every day I go to work and love it. So I'm very, very fortunate with that. So, but you, Nikki, you know as well as this job comes with it comes
Yeah.
with baggage.
Yes. Very much. Very much.
Yeah. And that's where the fishing came in. I fished as a kid with my dad. We saltwater fished every weekend, whether it was a pier, it was a jetty, on the surf. We never did really any inshore fishing, but I've lived in coastal South Carolina my entire life. The water has just always been something special to me. Um, like a lot of us, we I went through realized I had some bad things going on,
Yes.
and it got real ugly. And the therapy was working well. The medication wasn't helping. It made me feel worse. I'm like, I'm not going through this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to go and do all of this to try to feel better and take something that makes me feel worse than the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
So I started doing some research on my own, and along with my therapist, who has turned out to be a very close personal friend now. Great guy.
They usually do.
Um, do I?
They usually do. They usually end up becoming, once you
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, he was just a really good guy. I could relate to him because I was that guy. I came up in the ranks of public safety that, you know, this wasn't an issue. It was, shake it the fuck off, kid. Go to the next job. It is
Yeah,
what it is. This is what you signed up for. So
that's the mentality. That's what they
it
expect.
was. It really was. And programs that we have today are not offered to weren't offered back then the way they are to officers. I mean, I've gone through probably three or either four critical incident stress debriefings because of calls in the last year. We just didn't have those when I started, and I think they're a wonderful, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful tool. It's good preventative maintenance, but So I started doing some research along with him, and I started looking, and I'd had a boat, and fished a little here and there. I'd started getting back into it, and I lived right next to, not too far from all the creeks and inshore fishing stuff. And I really started looking at it, and I started looking at the kayak stuff, and then I realized, hey, wait a minute, there's therapeutical things that go along with it, doing some of my own research. So I started researching more, and I started going through YouTube, and I found some local guys here that kayak fish
Yeah.
and started chit chatting with them. And I'm like, I'd never really messed with YouTube. And I was like, it says they answer questions and stuff. I'm like, maybe they will. Let's see. And I mean, it was just like a different world. It was like they couldn't answer enough.
Yeah.
And so I fell in love with that whole community. And then, so I wound up with some of them. I bought a kayak, bought my first kayak, took some makeshift rod and reels that I had sitting in the garage, put them together, and away I went. And 4 years later, I just bought a brand new kayak and upgraded one. I've upgraded all my equipment. I fish in tournaments. I found Heroes on the Water. I started volunteering with them 3 years ago, and just absolutely love
One.
those groups. It is. It's allotted me a whole new group of friends and a whole new group of community people that I talk to, whether they're here in coastal South Carolina, they're where you are in Florida, Alabama. I've got I've got friends on my YouTube and my Instagram feeds that I talk to daily, like I do my friends here locally.
They're like family. Family.
Exactly, it
Yeah,
is, and it's a different circle of people.
it is.
And then you get out on the water, and it's peaceful. It's simple. There's no engines. There's no fossil fuels. There's no electronics. I run zero electronics in my kayaks.
Oh, I love that.
It's just peaceful. I was out a couple of weeks ago with one of my good friends, and we were in a small creek that we don't fish a whole lot down in. Excuse me. We were in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. It's a little barrier island about 25 minutes south of us. Very, very secluded, but phenomenal fishing. But it's really enclosed little estuaries. He had to leave a little bit early. The fishing wasn't that great, but I looked around and I'm like, I am the only human being on this side of this creek marsh.
Yeah.
I am the only human being in the water for the next 2 miles. So I've stayed for probably another 3 or 4 hours. It's like I can have that week of everything going bad. It's just strenuous. It's horrible. There's stuff at home. There's stuff at work. I'm getting called out in the middle of the night. Everything else, and then
It's like
I
that
find,
all you leave all of that at the bank, right?
yeah,
And as soon as you hit,
exactly. Soon
it's
as I
finished.
get in the kayak and I push off and I get out into the water and I start pedaling around and finding fish, and even the fish are a bonus, is what I tell people.
I always say that.
They
I always say that. Hey guys, I always say the fish are a bonus.
really are. To me, they are, because I love fresh fish. I grew up eating fresh fish, but I
Yeah.
keep I keep maybe 2% of what I catch. Everything I just take pictures of, post it, and throw it back.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
there the next day, the next week when I go. But when I step out in the water, it's just like everything goes away. I
It
just
does.
had, I had honestly just had a crap couple of weeks a while back. We were doing a Heroes on the Water event. We do one a month in the low country of South Carolina. Where I'm at in the Myrtle Beach area is as far north as we go. We go as far south as Beaufort, South Carolina, and
Mhm.
we fish fresh and salt water. 90% of it's salt water, all up and down with veterans and first responders who need this. And
Yeah.
we take them out and we teach them how to do this. Well, I was having just one of those couple of weeks, and I got to a city just south of us, Georgetown, just outside of Charleston. I stopped to fuel up my truck, stepped out, and it's right across from the water where I stopped at. And all you could smell was pluff mud. You could smell salt air and pluff mud.
Mhm.
I stepped out of my truck and it was just like everything went away. I wasn't even on the water yet, just smelling it.
Yeah. Just the smell.
Yeah. And it was just like everything I had dealt with for the last 2 weeks. I'm like, it
Just
went away. It's
Melts away.
gone.
A
Yeah.
release. It's almost I try to convey it as much as I can to people, and it's so hard unless you are a fisherman yourself and maybe in the same kind of predicament or the things that we're going through. But it's that same thing. You step out on the water soon. The moment you smell the water, the air, the like you said, the mud. You just it's like a release, a weight is lifted off of your chest, and any problems you have, any bills you're worried about at home, any arguments or people you're dealing with, work, the issues of work or the stress of work. It all is just it goes away, and all of it is just it's you, and you're out there in Mother Nature, and, you're out on the water, and that's all that matters, and nothing else matters in the world. It's just
Yeah.
you in that moment, however long it
Yeah.
lasts, however long is how long it lasts, and
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling.
It is. And I don't know if we haven't got into that depth of us talking yet, Nikki, but I don't know if you've ever kayak fished. I've looked at a lot of your reels and your posts, and it looks like you're bass fishing on boats and from shores and stuff like that,
Yes.
which probably 98% of everything I do is saltwater. Freshwater just a little bit, but the salt is can't beat it. Sorry.
Yeah, and
I
yeah,
actually at a Heroes on the Water event about 4 or 5 months ago, I caught my first ever largemouth bass.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but with the kayak, it's just like there's no noise, there's no motors, there's nothing. It's I pull it off the back of my truck, I set a couple of little things up, throw my gear in, and I'm gone. There's no noise, there's nothing but the birds, the fish jumping everywhere.
just
You
Mother
know,
Nature.
there's just like you said, you can kind of separate yourself from the world.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You do. You separate yourself from the world, and nothing else matters. And you talk about kayak fishing. Well, that is the same for me for bank fishing and pond fishing. I do some work out on the boats. I'll go out and do, sometimes I got to do some work or some live shows and get some video work done. But most of the time, it's just me. And I'm pond hopping from pond to pond with my KastKing backpack, my rod and reel, and I'm just hitting the ponds, or fishing some lakes that way as well, but walking. And for just as you with the kayak, that is for me with walking the banks.
Yeah.
And I used to get out there, Heath, at 5:30 in the morning, and just wait. Maybe have some breakfast. Have like a little energy drink, and kind of just wait and watch the sunrise right before I start fishing, and watch the world come alive, like right in front of me. And you
Yes.
literally feel it. You see the world come alive. It's dead quiet. It's all dark, right? And then all of a sudden, that sun starts to rise. Things start to warm up a little bit. The trees start to move in the wind a little bit. Maybe you see a bird hop across the grass. You see the squirrels come out. Then all of a sudden, you hear the birds start chirping, and everything literally comes to life. And it is the most comfortable, beautiful, amazing feeling, serene, very serene. And then I start fishing right then and there. I just start fishing, and it's just me and Mother Nature, and everything else is left behind.
I'm going to answer Matthew Dillon's question there real quick. I think it's kind of funny. Hey,
It's
Matt, I would, but in my point in my career where I'm at, if I pull you over, there's something really, really bad going wrong. So you don't have to worry about me doing it, brother.
yeah, we have gosh, we got so many people in here. Hi Paula, hi Big Peppo, hi Maddie, Marco Marin. Hello from Serbia. Well, hello Serbia. Thank you so much for joining.
Wow.
Hi
Awesome.
Marco. Here in Texas, it's probably drop shot weather, Big Peppo said.
I get that. It's been horrible here. The winds have been blowing 23 miles an hour all day and it's cold.
Oh yeah. It's
Then
getting here.
tomorrow it's only supposed to be 5 miles an hour in the mid 50s.
Paula says, I love a long day of fishing. I concur, Paula. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you were talking about the pond hopping and walking, I can
Yeah.
even still do that. I find myself doing that a lot of times on some of these low tides. And some of these back creeks of Merle's Inlet where I normally fish at, there's a lot of places that create some of these salt ponds and stuff on the low tides. I can beach the kayak somewhere and get out and I see my buddy Ryan jump in here. Hey Ryan, of course we're going fishing, brother. We always will.
We have a couple people. Google says it's called being in your element. So true.
Yeah, so
100%.
true. Couldn't be a better statement. Not a better statement in the world. But like I said, I can get out in these oyster beds and stuff and walk around through the marshes, and I find these secluded little ponds that are left when the tides fall out. It sometimes can be full of fish, full of birds, whatever. And I mean, it's just unless I was on that kayak, you would never be able to get to the point to walk and find these places.
Hmm.
So it's definitely, as he just said, in your element.
You discover so many things,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
when I'm pond fishing or even out on the boat, there's different canals or different, just so many different things you explore and discover. And there's something new I find every time I go fishing, whether it's a new area I've never seen before, a new tree that's just so beautiful to me, or, a new spot to fish, or, just beautiful things
Yeah.
that get everything else and let the world fall behind.
Yeah. My wife says the same thing. She's not a real big angler, but she likes to get out every now and then. And thank God for her. She's been so supportive of this.
Oh,
It's
it's nice to have
yeah.
that partner, especially for
Yeah.
fish.
She'll even tell me sometimes you've had too bad of a week. Get your ass out the house and go fishing.
See, I love that. I love that. Maddie says, respond to a call in your kayak, Heath.
Yes. But she'll come out and she does stuff like that. She thinks it's just, she's like, you don't know. And she looks at it and she walks around some of these areas that no one's probably set foot on in years because you can't get to them without a kayak. You wouldn't know they were there. And she looks at different nature and wildlife and shells and stuff. And then she sits here and wonders, who walked across it, 1,000 years ago before us?
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about the exploring of it, you know?
Yeah.
Hi and Muddy. Hi and Muddy. Ray. Hi, Ray. Thank you both for your service. Thank you, Ray. Um,
Thank you guys.
Daniel Lemon says, I used to live in Denton, Texas. God bless Texas. Absolutely. I love
Yes.
Texas.
Oh,
Juan,
yeah.
sa- Juan says, you do always learn something new when you fish every time and discover new places. It's so true, Juan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Whether you're exploring new places, catching fish, or even if you don't catch any fish, you have a day that you get skunked. You can learn a lot from that.
Well, what do we always say? Fish are the bonus, right? It's not about the fish.
Absolutely.
How's the quote go?
Absolutely. It's
Many a men,
about finding that new element.
what is that quote? It's many a men go fishing all their lives without knowing it's not the fish that they are after, right?
Absolutely.
That is
Yes.
so true. And that's why I always say fish are. These guys will tell you all the time. When you said the fish are a bonus, I almost lost it because I tell them that all the time. They're probably sick of me talking about it, but I try to reiterate it to let them know that the fish are the bonus. I mean, it's great when you catch a fish. It's absolutely wonderful. I'll be the first. I'll be jumping up and down. You'll hear me 3 states over when I catch a fish. But it's not about. It's just it's about being out there and living and enjoying and forgetting the world and leaving all your issues and problems behind and just being out there with mother nature, being one with mother nature, and just having that release from the world.
Yeah, it is. And it's just such a stress reliever, and it helps you deal with everything that you dealt with. And like you with a clinical diagnosis of PTSD, it's a constant fight. Because like
Yeah.
you said, people don't understand that, when we say it saves our lives, which it definitely saved mine.
Yeah,
Um,
it definitely.
Not to the point that, we're going to come out here and we're thinking of ending our lives. But when you have
No.
a calling like we do,
Yeah.
and that gets taken away, or there's a chance of it being taken away from something that's not in your control, that depression is real. It really is like a huge part of your life disappears, and then the trickle effect of that is, we see it daily. The trickle effect of that is, we turn to the wrong coping mechanisms of
Yep.
alcohol, different things like that, and then it leads to divorces and family breakups and stuff.
Ruin
So it
life.
really puts you at the bottom, the very bottom of a pit of your life you could possibly be.
And then that's
So
exactly how I felt, Heath. Being a cop was everything since I was a little girl. That's all I knew. That's all I wanted. And I wanted to help people, and I wanted to be like a cop that saved my life when I came from a very bad home. I grew up in a very bad home, an abusive home, and I wanted to be the cop that came in and saved me from that home. I wanted to be just like him, and I wanted to help people and save them, and that's why I became a cop. And when I became a cop and I graduated the police academy, it was the best day of my life, the happiest day of my life. And I was
mhm,
finally on a path of what I wanted to do to help people. And when you're on that path for so many years, and then all of a sudden you're knocked off that path and told that you can't put that uniform on again. You will never put that uniform on again. It just it it killed me. It did.
oh, sure.
It took my life out from under me. It swept me off my feet, and it made me hit rock bottom. I mean, I hit it hard, and I didn't know what I was going to do. What else? I didn't want anything else. That's all I knew. I mean, I grew up learning the penal code before I learned any. I mean, I loved it, and I loved everything about it. And all of a sudden, I was told, "Nope, you can't put your uniform on anymore. You got injured. You're hurt. We don't need you anymore." Just like that, we don't need you anymore.
Yep.
After I dedicated my life, my world, my life to them, and to be told that goodbye, you know, um,
Yeah, it's heart wrenching.
yeah,
It's heart wrenching. I've been very fortunate that I didn't. I've never had to do that. It's been close, and I thought when everything was going on, I mean, it was almost like when I was going through all of those dark times where I had disassociations and stuff like that. The It seemed like the only thing that kept me afloat was the job. It was
yeah,
one of the things that did some of the damage to me, but it seemed like that was the only thing that kept me afloat.
yeah.
And so I totally understand it. And the people that have never had that calling,
They don't get
don't
it.
they can't get it.
Yeah,
Um, it's very weird. This is a different style of career. It
it really,
really is.
especially nowadays, the way how officers are treated nowadays, and it's so hurtful to see that. You see your brothers and sisters in blue, and being treated the way they're treated. The world's just so upside down, and you know,
It
and
is,
it's so
and I might be stepping on the wrong ground, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But for the most part of it, me being out here every day the way I am, maybe it's just the communities that I work in. I don't know,
yeah,
and I mean, I work in some really bad. I've worked in some really bad communities, but they still loved us.
yeah. I love
They
that.
still supported us. There's some that don't like us, plain and simple. We're not going to please everybody.
No,
But the majority of people that we come across today, when I was still on the road wearing a uniform, it utterly amazed me, even after some of the really big social media and national media events from 2020 to today. Um, it just utterly amazed me of me and a couple officers or my shift sitting in a restaurant or somewhere. People come up and say, "Hey, thank you. We took care of your bill for you tonight."
oh, that's wonderful. That's so wonderful.
You've got all of this stuff going on in the news and in social media, but the majority of the people I come across in these communities, they're like, "Thank you." Don't
Yeah,
believe that. They're the news media is just going crazy with that to sell stuff. I don't know, but I see it all. I see both sides of it. I mean, there's things that I see cops do that I don't like, that I absolutely despise.
yeah. Same here.
But for the majority of it, officers are really good, and our communities are really there's more really good people that still support the police than there are that doesn't. I truly believe that, and I see it every day.
Yeah. I see it too, Heath, and I agree with you. I see it too, even though I'm not an officer anymore. I still see it, and it feels so good to see that. I'll be sitting down in a restaurant and I'll see a couple officers having breakfast or lunch or dinner, and then I'll see somebody get up and then come over and shake their hand or and thank them for their service, or and the same thing for veterans. It just does
Absolutely.
so good to see that.
Yeah. Matthew, your other question there, good one. This time of the year, Nikki and I actually were talking about it before we went live. This time of the year in coastal South Carolina, it's cooler. The fish get very lethargic. They go to deep holes, inshore saltwater fishing. They focus in on smaller profiles. My two favorite are the 2-inch Z-Man Slim Swim and the Ned Shrimp that they have. I throw them either on little, I usually throw them on anywhere from 16th to 8th ounce Ned heads. And that seems to fire the fish up when they're in their eating patterns that they're in for the winter right now.
Small profiles is key. Yak and Life says small profiles is key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wintertime fishing is hard, but they're still there. A buddy of mine went out today, which is completely abnormal. Caught a keeper flounder, which is 16 inches or better in South Carolina today, which is absolutely almost unheard of with the cold fronts that we've had right now. So they're still here.
Drop shot and jig, says Uncle Yukon. Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's something you see. I'm trying to be more versatile, Heath, in my fishing, as I think every fisherman should be. There's fishermen that stick to one thing. You got bass fishermen, and you have saltwater fishermen, and then. But I think it's key to be versatile in all kinds of fishing. It just makes you an all around good fisherman, right? So I'm trying more and more. With drop shot and doing more finesse fishing, and the patience that comes with it, he is is a little difficult for me. I'm not one to sit with a fishing rod. I'm a power fisherman, so I love walking the bank fishing. you know um
I'm the same way. The winter fishing, as I got more and more into it and going to these smaller profiles and learning to be slow and methodical with it and
yeah.
work the areas with these shrimp and these small paddle tails. It's paid off because, like you, I fish hard, I fish fast, I fish like I work.
Yes, that's exactly it. And I have ADD, so it's hard for me to sit still, and I got to constantly be moving. And these guys will even tell you, I'll be on live fishing, Heath, right? And they're like, Nikki, slow down, slow down. You got to slow down, real. And I'm trying, guys. I promise you, I'm trying. You know.
Yak in life, you're right. I've learned from as much of a power fisherman as I am, the finesse fishing has gotten really fun. I do enjoy it. I'm learning to enjoy it. Let me put it that way. Being slow and methodical, because like I said, I usually plan a fishing trip, look at Google Earth, Google Maps, look at pressures, tides, wind, and I devise a plan on where I want to go and the areas I want to hit, and I go and I hit them hard and I hit them fast.
Oh yeah.
And this time of the year, I've really had to slow down. So it's been a learning curve the last 2 years that I've gotten into it. But I love the finesse fishing too. I've
Cra-
learned to really get into it.
Crazy Life says tubes are fire in the winter. I fished tubes maybe once, crazy, and I've never really fished with them again. I should start using them.
I've never fished with the tube. Like I said, I just don't do a lot of that style of fishing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
um,
This finesse
I
fishing is
just
fun. It is fun.
yeah, I
Oh,
just I actually just went out the other day and tried my first underspin paddle tail.
nice. The underspins are great. I've caught some really good fish on underspins.
Yeah, I hadn't caught anything yet on it, but I will.
Ray says get a slower speed reel. Ray, that's a great idea. I should. You're right. I gotta see me though. It's hilarious when we're out there. Well, we'll fish, I'm sure. You'll see me on live. I'll do it. But I don't know what it is. Is it part of my ADD? I don't know. Everything's fast. Then again, I'm from New York. I talk fast, I run fast, I walk fast. Everything is like at a faster pace with me. And I'll be out there reeling, talking to them. Before I know it, my line's in. I'm like, oh crap. Sorry, guys. Cast it back, slow it down. That's here, you know. And I'm trying to teach them, some people that come on that are learning in the wintertime, you got to slow that retrieve down. They don't want to go and chase things. They don't want to chase the baits. They want something nice and slow to come in front of them, you know?
Yeah.
New York, New York, Uncle Yukon. Forget about it. Forget about it. Oh,
Well,
you'll see it, Heath. They make fun of me all the time. I love these guys so much.
that's awesome. That's what this community is about, is us having fun, learning stuff, and you
That's
know,
that's the thing about this community, Heath, that I love. The fishing community is so completely different from anything I've ever known. We've got our law enforcement community, right? We've
yeah,
got the fire
absolutely.
have their community, other first responders. Then you've got, other communities that are out there. But the fishing community is so different in the way that they come together to help each other, to be there for each other, to I mean, look what you're doing inside the community, helping people, first responders, people that maybe are retired or people that are still going through law enforcement, to help them through PTSD and coping mechanisms through kayak fishing and fishing.
Yeah.
It's just a family. It's one big family, and that's what I'm trying to do on this live show, and a group that I have on Facebook, is to bring everybody together through fishing and outdoors. We
Yeah.
have people from different countries. Look, we had somebody from Serbia in here. We've got people from all around the world. And what do we share in common? What are they coming in this live for? They love fishing and they love the outdoors. So it's my goal to bring people together, and I think we can do.
Mhm. Absolutely. That was the purpose of my Instagram. I haven't had any form of social media in over 13 years
Oh,
and
wow.
haven't missed it a bit.
You didn't miss it. I
I
Yeah,
did not. I did not. But once I got into this, and I'm like, this is almost as much of a calling as law enforcement was to me.
yeah,
And I see what it's done for me. And I'm on like, is there another person out here like me that I can help?
yes, absolutely.
So that's the purpose of of my Instagram, is I wanted to bring the recognition for the PTSD, the different treatments that we need for, because I mean, let's face it, the mental health system in our country right now, unfortunately, is
Or
not the top priority.
no, no, it's not.
So
Well, look what you just talked about. What we went through in law enforcement. There was nobody there to help you. You had to learn all those coping mechanisms and learn how to get through it on your own. All they expected you to do was your work, right? Hey, buddy,
yeah,
get through. Sorry, man up, get through it. Hey,
yeah,
you're on the clock.
absolutely.
We need.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
I'm very, very fortunate now that I have a chief of police that is just,
wonderful.
mental health is probably on the top of his list, as making sure everybody goes home during the day.
I love that. I wish I had that back. I wish we had that back then. And I wish, more people had that, because as you know, a lot of people don't, that are in different
Yeah.
agencies or in,
Yes.
it's not very good right now, but that's wonderful that you do have that. I love to hear
Well, like
that.
we were talking, we had a critical incident stress debriefing a few months ago. There were some really young officers in this briefing that was on this call that, I mean, 2, 3 years on the job, and they were talking about it, and they were like, I didn't realize, especially on, the investigative side, how much, you guys have to sit and relive this every day going through the investigative part of it. For us, we just walk away and it's kind of the end of it.
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, but it doesn't.
No.
I said, take it from some experience here. Take a lot from this. Use what you can learn here. Keep talking to people, because 20 years down the road in this career, you don't want your world to just implode on top of you.
No.
Because if you don't take care of it now, and this kid's one of these, he's in the gym 18 times a week,
It's
you
just
know.
building and building and building.
Yes. And at some point that proverbial feather on the top will land
Yep.
and break it. And that's what I used him. I used this kid is just, he's massive. He's a great kid. He's a big teddy bear, but I mean, he's the guy that's in there, throwing 5 plates on a bar and throwing them around.
Oh my
I
God.
said, as Chief says, and I'll tell you now, take care of your mental health the same way you do so your biceps look good in your uniform. You know.
It's true though. It's true. I understand what he meant. It's so true. You know.
Yeah, and That's the purpose of this, is this awareness. Now, will this work for everybody? No.
No. But see,
It worked for me.
that's what the hard thing is about it now, Heath, is a lot of these guys, especially the new guys, right? The younger guys that come on and that don't know, they don't have the wisdom, or they haven't, got to share the wisdom from somebody that mental health is such a priority, and it's such a big issue. And what they do is they just take it and suck it up, and they don't talk about it. They keep it held in, and they think that that's what a man's supposed to do. And a lot of men go through that, and they don't talk about their problems. They always learn that a man should deal with it and not talk about it. And unfortunately, that's a big problem nowadays, because all that's going to do is it's going to build. And if they don't talk about their issues or their problems, or work on things that are bothering them or eating away at them, it's just going to get worse, and you're going to implode over time.
Yeah.
And that's something that I wish that we can do more help for, especially men nowadays, to help them more with that issue, of sharing and
We,
talking about their
yeah,
problems.
we tend to be way more prideful and don't want to talk about this. And I was that guy for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I was that guy.
Yep.
Ray, was that question for me about what my Instagram name is? If it is, it's SC Kayak Fishing.
Now let me ask you, Heath. We've got a lot of people on here now, and people are going to be watching this. And if you could give some advice to, like what we just talked about, the people that are going through something right now. We talk about law enforcement, but we mean for everybody.
Everybody.
We don't, just because we're in law enforcement doesn't mean we're only talking to law enforcement or first responders.
Absolutely not.
But if you could give some advice to people and let them know what could they do for somebody that might be going through some issues that you and I've been through, maybe some depression, some PTSD. But what's something that they could do to help?
The biggest thing, and I went through this with one of my coworkers who their spouse was dealing with it and they couldn't understand it. Number one is be there and be supportive, but don't be pushy.
Right.
Be understanding and talk when they want to talk. If they say, "Hey, I just need a buddy to hang out with," don't expect a whole lot of conversation. They may
No,
not want to talk,
they just
but
want
just
there.
want that camaraderie. It
Yeah.
may just be sitting next to them, you know, chilling out, hanging, or go ride a bike or something. Or if you're fishing, a lot of times my friends that I fish with, they don't they don't know what they're doing as far as the healing process for me, or the continuous healing process for me. I'm just out here with my buddies hanging out, and we're having a good time. Even with Heroes on the Water, I get just as much out of those every day as I do the people that I take out fishing.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing I can say is don't be pushy, but just be there and be supportive
Be there
and
for
be
them.
willing to listen when they want to talk.
Right. Be there to listen. Don't push them into talking, because a lot of people don't want to talk. They just want that company. Maybe they can go
Yeah.
out, talk about how fishing helps us. Maybe they just want to go for a walk through the woods. Maybe they just want to go grab some coffee. Maybe they just want, to go fishing out on the boat, but they don't want to talk. They just want somebody there, and then maybe they'll start to open up. Maybe they'll start to talk,
Yeah. Or
let,
just like you said, having a cup of coffee and just talking about everyday life and
yeah,
just being there with them. And then you'd be surprised that maybe that's the way they're testing the waters to see, maybe I can talk with this person. They're going to listen to me.
right. Maybe they're testing, and
Yeah.
just kind of testing it out just to see. But
Yeah.
you know, yeah, that
Just
that really helps, Heath. Because there's a
be
lot.
that good friend, that good supportive friend, spouse, significant other, wherever you're at in it, and that's that part of a relationship, whether it's a friendship of, whoever, or if it's your spouse, your significant other, just be there for them and be patient.
Be patient. I appreciate that. As everybody's saying, that's really great advice. That's good advice. And it really is, guys. Like Heath is saying, just be there, and if you are the person going through something, please reach out. We say this all the time, and mental health is a big issue in our world today. There's not enough help for people out there. There's not good help as there should be. And not a lot of attention is paid to mental health. And there should be, especially in the jobs like Heath and I talk about, law enforcement and first responders, where they deal with a lot of pressures. But it's not just that. There's so many other jobs out there that deal with so many pressures. And they take that work home with them. They bring it home
Yeah.
with them, and causes issues. And
Yeah.
before you know it, it blows up into something even bigger. But
Yeah.
please reach out. There are so many people here. um,
I mean, you look at COVID. COVID did a huge number on our healthcare workers.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, it really did.
Yeah, my wife is a nurse, and after COVID, it was really, 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 really hard on her. She's still a nurse, but I still think it may have been part of why she changed areas of nursing that she did and what she does with them, what
Yeah.
she does in nursing. It affected her horribly.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and I completely understand. I've seen it. I've seen it happen, and
So
um,
it we you don't know, and you don't know what anybody's going through anymore
no,
or what they're dealing with.
you don't. The person next to you, when you're waiting for the train or you're waiting for the bus, you don't know what that person's dealing with. And I always say, be kind, because whatever you say to that person could be that trigger that triggers them into something really bad. So always be kind. Always, have a smile. And don't be that trigger for somebody, because you never know what that person's going through. Maybe they needed those kind words from you. Maybe they just needed you to say good morning. Maybe they just needed a smile back when they smiled at you. You
Yep,
know what someone's going through. It's a tough world today. We're going through a lot. We've been through a lot. And the best thing you can do is be kind.
yep,
Just be. It costs
yep.
nothing to.
Absolutely. Costs nothing, and the dividends are way more.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah, I do. I have two KastKing reels, and I have several pieces of KastKing apparel and equipment that I use on my boat every day. Well, not every day. They're on my boat every day. Unfortunately, I'm not on my boat every day.
you just said you got a KastKing reel, right? What did you get?
I did. I just got my second one. I got the Sharky 3. I got it in a
Oh,
2000 series.
the Sharky, the infamous Sharky. That's a great reel, Heath.
I love that reel. I wound up with a 3000 series a year and a half ago. I have a friend of mine that's got a decent sized boat, and we'll get near shore to almost offshore sometimes fishing. And it just didn't suit him. He wound up with it. It was still in the box, and he asked me, he was like, "You want this?" I can't use it. It's just sitting in my garage taking up dust, still in the box.
Oh wow.
So I took it out and I said, "Yeah, I got a rod I can put that on." I put it on one of my rods and went out with it. And the first time I threw it, and I was just like, "Well, where has this damn thing been?"
Isn't that
it
amazing? It's
it
so
spun
underrated.
like it casted and spun smooth like it was looped with butter. I mean, it was just, and that particular reel has probably been underwater 3 times.
And still comes out shining, doesn't it?
It does. And shame on me. The first time it ever went in the water, it was on the Wando River in Charleston, South Carolina, which is it's more salt, but it's brackish.
Hmm.
I was helping a buddy of mine that had got hung up underneath the dock,
Oh,
and I was up under there trying to get to his because I was still in my smaller kayak and forgot to take it out of the holder, and it caught on the dock and pulled out of the boat,
oh
went
no!
right in the water.
Right in the water.
Yep, all the way down. Luckily, the water was clear that day. We got that done. We were able to, we were only in about 4 foot of water, so it was clear. We were able to fish it, right out. And I came home. I was like, I mean, I had a water bottle in my car, on my boat with me. I just dumped some fresh water on it, and I kept on fishing. Um, come home and something happened and I didn't wash everything off. And then like 3 days later, I realized I hadn't washed that reel and took it apart. I'm like, I have ruined this reel. So I come out to the garage and I get it and start working on it. First thing I do is, I flip it across the front yard just to see what it is. And this thing casted like it did the day I got it.
Like a dream. I
So I still took it apart and cleaned it and, re-oiled it, re-greased it and everything else. I try to do that once every couple of weeks with all of my equipment because, we all know salt water is horrible on equipment.
Angler Dave says, nice. There are great programs out there. Casting for Recovery and Project Healing Waters are some I help with. That is
Awesome.
that's awesome.
That is so awesome. That was kind of what I found in Heroes on the Water. When I first time I ever went out and I decided to do this, and I'm like, I got to do something with this group because I'd seen it a couple times on my feeds, and then I was watching a fishing show one Sunday morning, drinking coffee, and it came on. I'm like, that's my sign. That is my sign. So I contacted the local chapter and the local chapter in the Low Country, Luther. He gave me a phone call the next morning, and we wound up talking for like 2 hours. It was like we were best friends.
Oh, that's so,
And
especially when it
I've
works.
been with them, and we were actually just talking today. Ryan that jumped into RJM Fish Sales, he's one of the Low Country members, one of our volunteers with me as well. Um, we were all talking in our text group this afternoon about trying to do something after Christmas about maybe taking a day or two and all of us running to North Carolina to try to just see what we could do to help up there.
Oh, I love that. See, that's what I love about the community. Just reaching out and helping each other, and making sure everybody is okay. And the fishing community is just so wonderful. As Angler Dave says, that's another one. I'll keep an eye out for them out in the West. That's so awesome.
Yeah, Heroes on the Water is a national. We have chapters all across the United States, so it's a great nonprofit organization to get involved with. They do a lot of good things.
That's so great. Um, as someone who struggles with mental health, Benny says, I can tell you I unknowingly clicked on this live, not knowing I needed it more than I thought. Thank you both. Benny, uh,
Oh,
I can't tell you what that means to me. And I know to Heath,
absolutely.
God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. And, Nikki, you and I as law enforcement, we always say we can't help everybody in our career, but if we go through our careers knowing that we
help
we
one,
helped and changed the life of one person,
one person.
we had a successful career.
Absolutely. Benny, that really means a lot. I'm so happy that, in some kind of, if it helped in any kind of way. And if you ever need anything, Benny, I know Heath is here. I'm speaking for
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not, like you said, I don't care if it's a veteran, a first responder, just an
yeah,
everyday walk of life person flipping hamburgers at McDonald's. If
yeah.
there's something that they think kayak fishing can do or fishing in general, and they want to feel comfortable reaching out to me, absolutely. I could always.
We're always here. And the people that are in the comments as well. We're all family here. We all
Yeah.
help each other. We're all one big happy outdoor fishing family. And if there's anything that we can do, we're always here.
Oh, absolutely.
But these lives are always great. Thank you, Yak and Life. I love you. It's so good to see you guys come in. And whenever I see you guys come in, it just puts a smile on my face. And as you guys know too, here we are talking about mental health. You guys know I say this all the time. You always ask me, "Hey, Nikki, how you doing today? How are you feeling today?" And I'm always open and honest with you guys. Well, today wasn't a good day, guys. I'm depressed today, but I'm looking forward to the live, and I couldn't wait to come on. And as soon as I click that button and I see your guys' names pop up immediately, it's like the weight was lifted, and I'm so great. And whatever happened during the day or the week is gone. And automatically I feel great because that's what you guys do for me. You put a smile on my face, you make me happy. I look forward to these every week. We sit in here, we laugh, we talk about serious things sometimes, we talk about funny things, we
Excuse
make
me.
fun of each other, but
Yeah.
it's all great, and it's what heals me. It's very healing for me to do that. So that's what you guys do for me.
That's awesome. This is just This is the first live YouTube thing I've ever done, so I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, Ray. I mean Ray. I'm talking to Ray. Heath, I'm so happy um, that we were able to get you on, and that I'm so happy that I was able to meet you. You know, in a comment section on
Yeah,
KastKing's site there. Um,
yeah. I mean, that, like I said, that's why I started this Instagram, was it for things like this. So I'm looking forward to hopefully us doing some other things together. Maybe we can do
yeah,
figure out another way to do some stuff together with
absolutely.
them, Cass King, everybody.
Yeah, with
You know?
KastKing and KastKing, that's why I brought you on the show too. Is KastKing is always helping people. We have our they help the armed forces. They help they love our military, they love our police, they love our first responders. They're always doing something. They have me involved with United in Pink, with this which is breast cancer awareness. We were doing that. We're always involved in things like that because they support the community in that way, and they're always looking to be a part of groups like this. And I know that we can get together through KastKing. Maybe we can set something up. Who knows? Maybe we can have a kayak fishing tournament, um, you know,
Absolutely.
bring people together, for mental health issues, and just be out there to help people.
Absolutely. That would be, stuff like that is great. And, it's always fun to do things like that. Even like after our Heroes on the Water events, we always have a big lunch afterwards with everybody that's participated. They
Oh,
just come out and fished and stuff like that. Sometimes the chat brother, I, we just had one here in Merle's Inlet a couple of weeks ago, and I cooked I cooked all the food for it, and it's so much fun just being able to cook all of this stuff and hang out on the water next to them after we fished all day, and
absolutely.
and
Tell stories,
yeah,
just kind of, yeah.
yeah,
Heath,
that kind of stuff helps.
I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight, sharing your story, not only your story with us, but your story of fishing and your story of law enforcement. It truly means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to these guys. Like I said, I was so excited to have you on and introduce you to everybody. But I'm really looking forward to getting back together again, and
Absolutely.
back on and getting together, maybe collaborate and doing some fishing together.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. I've been dying to get to Florida to do some fishing. I was in Jacksonville, Florida on a conference a couple of years ago, and it killed me. I didn't have a fishing pole with me.
Yeah, that's great. Oh my gosh, I can show you some really cool spots, and we'll have the live going, and we'll have some fun. We'll make some fun of it. But thank you so much again for joining us, Heath, and we look forward to having you
Thank you,
back on.
Nikki. Thank you, everybody.
And again, guys, make sure you go and follow Heath's Instagram. He's only on Instagram right now. What's your Instagram?
It is SC Kayak Fishing.
SC Kayak Fishing, guys. Go check them out. Add them over on Instagram. If you want to message Heath, or have any questions, or you just want to talk to him and you need somebody there, you can reach out to him anytime.
Please
And
do. All right, Nikki, I'll talk to you, I'm sure, later in the week.
yeah, absolutely,
And
we'll be in touch, Heath.
all right, guys. Thank you for coming in tonight, guys.
Thank you so much, Heath.
Thank you, Nick. Bye.
I think you can sign out, right? I don't think I
Yeah.
can. All right, guys, that was awesome. Oh my gosh, what a great, great person. I'm so happy we finally got to have him on. Like I said, I just met Heath through Instagram. So through social media, he was on one of the Cast King's posts. And that's how we met, through the comments section. And we started talking, and I said, I want to have you on the live. This is something that we talk about, mental health all the times, mental health issues. And you guys know I go through depression myself. And we talked about law enforcement and how fishing saved my life. I said, we got to have you on, and I knew you guys were going to love it. And I can't thank you guys enough for being so kind to Heath, and as our guest. And you guys are always wonderful. So for that, I'm going to do a giveaway for you guys. Now, we did a giveaway on the gloves last week, if you guys remember, right? Well, it blew up. I knew people wanted gloves, but I didn't realize how badly people needed gloves. So I said, why don't we do another live or another giveaway and do it on gloves again? We are going through some really cold weather right now. We are getting into winter time, and a lot of my fans family and friends that are dealing with the cold and the winter snap and just this cold winds out there that are outdoors fishing and everything. Everybody needs gloves. So I picked two people last week. I'm going to pick two people again. And as you guys know, we have all kinds of different gloves. We have the woolly bully gloves. We have the long ones. I love these gloves. These are waterproof gloves. They have that fleece material. My other gloves I don't have with me, but it's the compression gloves, and you're able to use your cell phone with them. And I think you use your cell phone with these too, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other Woolly Bully has three fingerless. So these are five fingerless, and these are our wool gloves. So there's four different pairs of gloves to choose from. If you win, you can pick the kind you guys want. So we're going to do another giveaway on the gloves today. And all you guys have to do is three simple things. Be subscribed. You got to hit the subscribe button. Number two, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. And number three, leave me a comment and tell me which gloves do you want. You guys want the Woolly Bully? Do you want the waterproof gloves? Do you want the five fingerless Woolly Bully or the three fingerless Woolly Bully? Or do you want the compression gloves with the touch sense so you can use your cell phone? All you have to do is say gloves, which ones you want and what you're going to use them for. This way I can pick the winner in the comment section. Come back next week. I'll have the two winners picked for you guys. And I didn't want to do a big giveaway because we have the holidays coming up. And if you guys know, if you've been with me for a few years now, I do a big giveaway for Christmas. So I get a big stocking, I stuff it with all kinds of KastKing goodies, and I usually pick about 6 or 7 winners for a big, huge giveaway for Christmas when I do my big Christmas live special. So we're going to save all that for Christmas. So we'll just do a nice little giveaway today, and we'll do it on the gloves for you guys. I know we did the gloves last week, but guys, everybody loved it. Everybody needs gloves, and I want to give two people another chance to win these gloves. So great show. Thank you so much, Maddie. Compression gloves. Those are my favorite, Big Peppo. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed the show. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed Heath. He's such a great person. And being in law enforcement, you guys know it's you don't talk about a lot of things. You keep it to yourself a lot. And that's what I did, at least. And it's nice to know that nowadays, things are trying to change. And like he said, he has a chief there that puts mental health as number one, and puts it as something as very important as he does. And it means a lot, especially to people like me that goes through depression, and deals with mental health issues on a daily. It's nice to see that. And it makes me feel good that that is happening out there. And we'll have Heath back on. Make sure you go over and check his Instagram out. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for being kind to him, and for having questions for him. It really truly means a lot. I talked about you guys to him like so many times. I said these guys are wonderful. They're great friends of mine. They're gonna love you. And look what you guys did. You were wonderful. So as my thanks to you, we're going to do this giveaway. You get 2 more chances to win the gloves. 3 simple things. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. And leave me a comment about the gloves. Come back next week. I'll pick 2 winners and we'll have another adventure. Who knows where we'll be? We could be out on the boat. We could be out on the pond fishing. And we're getting close to Christmas. So we're going to have a big Christmas special. So I look forward to that with you guys as well. But that's it, guys. I'm going to end it tonight. Gosh, we did over an hour. Oh my goodness. It just went by. It went by. Christmas Day live stream. Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll do a Christmas Day live stream or a movie night. Yes, Uncle Yukon. I like that. I like that idea. Thanks for another great live. Thank you, Yak and Life. Thank you guys for coming in and joining. And thank you for being so wonderful as you are. You guys truly mean a lot to me. I love you too, Maddie. Until next time, keep grinding, stay strong, always stay humble. And as always, keep on fishing. I'll catch you guys in the next adventure. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for tonight. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget 3 simple things for the giveaway. Be part of it. I missed the whole show, Brandon. That's all right. You can rewatch it. I'm gonna post it. Polar Express one. Yes, we're gonna watch that. We're doing it. You're the best. You're the best, Yak in Life. I love you. Bye, guys.